To support the channel, you can donate by clicking on the link in the description. Hello everyone. Today I'm going to respond to an objection that is sometimes raised against the resurrection account in relation to eyewitness testimony. Some have suggested that we shouldn't accept the conclusion that Jesus rose from the dead on the basis of eyewitness testimony because eyewitness testimony is the most unreliable form of evidence. This, however, is a very absurd and disingenuous position to hold to, though. Even if it is true that on average, eyewitness testimony is the most unreliable form of evidence, although there is no consensus that it is, it wouldn't follow from that eyewitness testimony is always unreliable. This is true whether we're talking about eyewitness testimony that pertains to criminal court cases or eyewitness testimony that relates to historical events like the resurrection. Eyewitness accounts should always be assessed and examined on a case-by-case basis according to their own individual merits. Therefore, it's completely unreasonable for someone to reject an eyewitness account from the outset. That's nothing more than a bias. The whole point of doing an investigative analysis is to determine whether a particular eyewitness account is reliable or not. And there are, of course, a number of tests that can be done in order to determine that. However, it's important to keep in mind that the historical process deals with investigating the past, which involves reaching conclusions that are based on probability, not certainty. A probable conclusion, though, is perfectly acceptable because such a conclusion is beyond reasonable doubt. So, when it comes to the resurrection or any other historical event, we have to use inductive reasoning, which is based on probability. Evaluating eyewitness testimony, of course, is part of the historical process that's based on inductive reasoning. What's not part of the historical process, though, is preemptively rejecting an eyewitness account because eyewitness testimony isn't always reliable. Of course, eyewitness testimony isn't always reliable. Sometimes people lie or misjudge things, but people don't always lie and/or misjudge things. Therefore, someone who is truly interested in discovering the truth will actually evaluate an eyewitness account rather than rejecting it beforehand. So, the eyewitness accounts of the resurrection should not be rejected on the basis that eyewitness testimony isn't always reliable. Such a notion is beyond absurd, since it would entail the discardment of all eyewitness testimony. One actually needs to examine eyewitness accounts in order to determine their reliability. And we do have very good evidence that the eyewitness accounts regarding the resurrection event are reliable, which is something that I plan on discussing in a future video. Well guys, that's it for this video, so please let me know what you think, and remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.